Hello everyone. In this session we are going to cover hydrostatic forces on curved surfaces. So it is an extension of earlier discussion only. In the last class we have discussed forces on gravity dam and also on the sides of a tank. If there are one or two liquids standing, what would be the total force per meter length, as well as how to calculate total force on side of a wall or a dam we have studied in length. So in this session I am going to cover how to calculate forces on curved surfaces. So it will be, the session will be a bit lengthy, so take care. We'll start. Just to introduce you for a new concept, I have solved one numerical problem which you have already know the things, right? How it can be solved by slightly a different method, the method which will be adopted for curved surfaces. That's how the discussion will be. Okay. Now to start with a simple problem, a rectangular gate 5 meter by 3 meter is placed under water such that 3 meter edge or 3 meter edges are parallel to the free surface. The top and bottom edges are 4 meter and 8 meters below the water surface, right, respectively. Determine the total pressure on the position and the position of the center of pressure. Now if you catch hold of a rectangle 3 meter by 5 meter, so it is 3 meter this way, 5 meter that way. Okay. Now if the top edge, that is 3 meter, is from the free surface 4 meter below, then what happens is this is 4 meter below, and then another 5 meter, actually it will be 9 meter below, but they say 4 meter and 8 meter. That's how it should happen, like that. So this kind of imagination you might have developed already. So we'll try to draw the figure for that. Here is a figure. You can just see here, this particular thing is an edge view. So when the plane is inclined, generally it will be inclined like this, but to see what exactly the figure is, whether it is a triangle or a rectangle, you have to look at this way. So this particular figure helps you in understanding what the figure is, but in actual situation it will be edgewise view, so it will be like that. Now this is inclined at some angle theta, but the information is given is the upper edge is 4 meters below, the lower edge is 8 meters below, the length is 5 meters. Because of that it will be inclined, right? Otherwise if it is vertical, then upper edge is 4 meter, the lower edge would have been 9 meters. 8 meters is defined, so to say that it is inclined, like that. So actual length of the length in the view would be 5 meter this way. So 4 and 8, in the sense this is 4. So using this geometry I should calculate theta, and the actual section is 3 meter by 5 meter. So moment of inertia about centroidal axis, you can calculate V d cube by 12. Okay, all those things can be done. We'll see quickly. So that triangle which will be having 5 meters this way, 4 meter this way, theta over there. So opposite side upon adjacent side, opposite side upon hypotenuse. So that will be sine theta. So sine theta, theta is there. That is the angle theta. It is shown here. Sine theta will be opposite side upon hypotenuse, 4 by 5. Sine theta value directly is 0.8. The area of the figure is 3 by 5, 15 meters square. x bar or y bar or h bar, whatever it is, right? Position of centroid. So here position of centroid from the free surface, is x bar. So what I should do is the 4, the straight depth, plus this is 2.5 sine theta, right? This particular distance would be 2.5 sine theta, because half the distance is 2.5, theta is known. So x bar will be equal to 4 plus 2.5 sine theta. Sine theta value we know, because of that it works out to be x bar equal to 6 meters. Now further, Iz equal to Bd cube by 12. So 3 into 5 cube by 12, 31.25 meter raised to 4. You can work out with your calculator. Ig is nothing but moment of inertia about centroidal axis. Here is the centroid, or here is the centroid. So moment of inertia has to be calculated about an axis this way, because this is an axis perpendicular to this point, right? So 31.25. Next is HCP. So okay, before HCP I have to work out F will be gamma AH bar, good old formula now. Gamma is whatever it is given, 9.81 kilonewton per meter cube. Area is 15 meters square. H bar or X bar is 6 meters. If you just look at all this, it works out to be 882.9 kilonewton. That is what the total force is, right? Total pressure is. Now HCP, depth of center of pressure, the formula is x bar plus Ig sine squared theta divided by Ax bar. I have straight away substituted and worked out, it comes out to be 6.222 meters, right? So up to this it would have been 6 meter, but HCP will be slightly more, right? So that 0.22 meters it is below. So somewhere there or somewhere there would be the point of application of that force, and this force will be always perpendicular to the surface. Okay, HCP formula, fine. This you know already, you have studied it, but the same problem can be solved slightly in a different steps, and that method will be used for curved surfaces. Okay, we'll see that also. Now how exactly it is done is, look at this. The surface is this way, inclined, and you know that this angle is theta, right? So this is making an angle theta with horizontal. The data as given, this is 4 meters, this is given 4 meters, this is 8 meters, that's why it is like this. And then how it looks, it will be like that actually, right? So what you are seeing is slightly inclined, and then when you see edgewise it will be like that. That is what I am trying to show. So here you can just see, this is edgewise view. The front view would be like that. So in the front view, the height is becoming 4 meters, width is 3 meters, because it is inclined, right? Had it been vertical, it would have been 3 by 5 meters, but it's not vertical, it is held this way, right? So now what is done is, when you project it on vertical surface, it will be a rectangle 3 by 4 like that, and Fx will be worked out as if it is a vertical face. So what is the first point? Whatever inclined surface is there, that you try to look from the end and you look at it as if it is a rectangle in projected view. So it will be like this, it will be like this, having 3 meter and 4 meter as the height. So Fx, the horizontal force which is acting on this surface, right, is worked out as Fx. And then look at this figure, whatever water that will be there in this particular volume, right, will be acting as a vertical load as Fy. So Fy is nothing but weight of the liquid in this volume, that is EFBC, right. Now this nomenclature B in the bracket A in the sense, so when you look at the figure, B will be seen first, behind that will be A. Similarly here C will be seen first, and then behind that there will be D. So you can imagine that. I think that will be easier with this kind of operation. Okay, now the same figure I have slightly reduced in size. Now Fx is the force on projected vertical surface. Now when you project it, means when you exactly stand in front, how you see it as a face like that with a 3 meter and 4 meter. So on that, whatever horizontal force is there, that is called as Fx. So for Fx, how do I do? I know the formula as Fx equal to gamma Ax bar. So A is 3 by 4. Yeah, when it is projected, obviously it has got a dimension 3 by 4. 3 by 4 equal to 12 meters. X bar, position of centroid, it is 4 plus 2. 4 plus 2, because centroid depth is 2 meters below this edge. So 4 plus 2, it becomes 4 plus 2, that is 6 meters. Now Fx can be worked out. Fx is gamma Ax bar. So it comes out to be 706.32 kilonewton, that is Fx. Okay. Now how about Fy? Fy, okay, Fy, what is it? Fy is weight of the liquid above the inclined surface. So this is inclined surface, weight of the liquid which is above. Now that will be, weight will be calculated, if you remember, weight will be always calculated as specific weight multiplied by volume. Specific weight is specific weight of water, gamma W. Now how to calculate volume? It will be nothing but this area multiplied by the width 3 meters, which is equal to 3 meters, right? So area EFBC multiplied by AB, that is the depth, so that gives you the volume. Now 9.81 is for gamma W. Area is 4 plus 8 by 2 multiplied by 3, the depth, right? This depth, this is 3 meters, because it is given that it is 5 over here, 4 over here. So average of the parallel sides is 4 plus 8 by 2, and distance between the parallel sides is 3 meters. This 3 is over here. Now multiplied by the depth 3 meters, right? So this volume will be seen something like this. It is like a prism. So anyway, Fy comes out to be 529.8 kilonewton. This is Fy, vertically downwards. Now resultant of these two will be acting on this surface. So we'll find out the resultant. So if you depict in pictorial form, Fy 529.8 is vertically downwards, Fx 706.32 rightwards. So this is equivalent to a resultant force like that, which is given by square root of Fx squared plus Fy squared, and interestingly it comes out to be 882.9 kilonewtons, and this will be exactly perpendicular to the surface, right? So what you can observe here is 882.9 kilonewton, which will be there. Okay, in earlier slides I'll just go back and then show you. Yeah, this was 882.9, the same value we have got by doing all this exercise, but only thing is here it is bit lengthy because you have to see what is the projected area. Projected area is in the sense when you stand exactly in front, how it looks like a rectangle. Though it is a rectangle in inclined plane, it looks like a vertical face with 3 by 4, and on that what is the fx that you have to calculate. Usual formula, gamma ax bar or gamma ah bar, and weight of the liquid standing above the surface is Fy. The resultant of Fx and Fy will be giving you the resultant force. Okay, now we'll go back and okay, here there is a curved surface. Now how to work out force on curved surface? Exactly the same manner. You have to see the curved surface from one end. It looks like a rectangle or whatever figure, and on that face you have to work out Fx, and the liquid which is standing above this curved surface, whatever blue liquid is there, its weight will be acting as Fy, and you have to work out Fx Fy resultant. Okay, so I have shown a curved surface here with a radius r. It is perfectly quadrant. I have taken quadrant of a circle. So this is a cylindrical surface with a depth L. So some surface which will be having length L, in the sense it will be something like that. It will be having a surface that way. Hope you can imagine. It is a cylindrical surface, so it has got a width also, something like that. Okay, now okay, this is what it is. Just have a look, right? If you stand in front, how it looks is, it looks like a rectangle. When you view from this end, how it looks like a rectangle. This is a curved surface like that. Okay, and this particular edge is being seen over here as a thickness. So it is a curved surface. In the front view, it is nothing but vertical projection. So here the same cylindrical surface I have tried to show it over here. So that is the curved surface we are talking about. So this is back side. So back view, if you turn around, in side view it will be like this. So this liquid will be nothing but water. So when you stand behind and then try to see, obviously what you will see is a rectangle with this width, and this width is L, and this is L there. So here it has not come, but anyway, this length comes out as L, and this height comes out as radius R. Okay. Now Fx Fy you have to calculate. Fx on the area L into R, you know the usual formula for this as gamma Ax bar. Fy is nothing but weight of the liquid above, right? So horizontal part is simple, it is gamma Ax bar or gamma Ah bar. This is nothing but weight. So that's how to go ahead. We'll see, and then afterwards you have to find out the resultant of the two forces. You know how to find out resultant, square root of Fx squared plus Fy squared. Theta will be tan inverse of Fy by Fx. Okay, that's how to handle curved surface. Okay, total force will be equal to resultant of Fx and Fy. Fine. Fx, if I have to remove this, Fx will be equal to, equal to hydrostatic force on vertical projection of the curved surface. So this is what you have to remember. Whenever there is a curved surface, you have to take a projection on vertical plane, and Fx will be hydrostatic force on vertical projection of the curved surface, and it is given by Fx equal to gamma A h bar. Gamma is 9.81, area becomes L into R, and distance of centroid from the free surface, which is h bar, in this case it will be R by 2. That's how it is. Fy will be weight of the liquid standing above the curved surface. Standing above the curved surface, this is the one. So how do you calculate this? It will be, weight will be always calculated as specific weight multiplied by the volume. How to calculate volume is the area multiplied by the depth. So specific weight is gamma. The area of quadrant of a circle pi r squared by 4. The depth is L. So this is area multiplied by L gives you the volume. Volume multiplied by gamma gives you the weight. So that's how to calculate Fy. So this is the overall procedure how to handle curved surface. We'll see a case something like this. Now there is curved surface here, and then there is a vertical edge. Again here also, if you can imagine a surface. So this is this is almost a rectangle. The rectangle has got length L that way, and then height h, it is shown here, and this is again a curved surface. Okay, that's how it is. Okay, anyway, it is a part of curved surface plus a plane surface. In this case also the approach remains the same. You try to see from one end, whatever projection is there, it will be like a rectangle. If you can imagine, if you stand exactly this way and try to see, it will be a rectangle with L as the width. The height would be h plus r. On that vertical projection, what is the total Fx you have to calculate, and then Fy will be weight of the liquid, which is shown in this blue color. So that is Fy. Fy is weight of the liquid above this curved surface, right? So that is the approach. Let us see. Okay, I think you can just see here this curved surface. When you look exactly from the front, how it looks is, it looks like a rectangle with a width L. So this L, whatever is there, it has gone there, L width, right? And it looks, this is plain vertical surface, but this is a curved surface which looks like a rectangle of a height r. The width will be remaining the same. So it is, anyway, it is a rectangle with L by h plus r. So on that surface, what is Fx you have to calculate. Weight of this liquid will be Fy. Okay. So Fx, Fy, resultant, and then theta. That's how one should proceed. Okay. Total force will be resultant of Fx and Fy. Fx will be hydrostatic force on vertical projection of the curved surface. Curved plus plane, both together it is now, because you want the total force, right? So Fx will be given by gamma A y bar, or gamma A h bar, or gamma A x bar. Here y bar, h bar, x bar remain the same. It is a position of centroid from the free surface of the liquid. So this is where the liquid surface is. In this case also the top edge is attached to that. So gamma A y bar, A is L into h plus r, L into h plus r. Y bar, the centroid of this will be half of the height, h plus r by 2. Okay, Fy will be weight of the liquid standing above the curved surface. So there you can have the weight of that. So Fy will be gamma multiplied by volume of the liquid above the curved surface. Fy will be equal to gamma into L into pi r squared by 4 plus h. Something is wrong. How do you calculate the volume? Volume will be nothing but this area plus this area multiplied by L. Now this area will be H into R. Yeah, here it should have been pi r squared by 4 is quadrant of a circle. Here it should have been H into R and then a bracket, because this area is H into R, because this is R, this is H, so this is H into R. Pi r squared by 4 is this area, so total area multiplied by the length L gives you the volume, multiplied by gamma gives you Fy. Okay, so and then afterwards Fx Fy resultant. That's how it is. So position is found in a usual manner, in the sense using Varignon's theorem one can find the actual position of the resultant. Varignon's theorem states that moment of a resultant is equal to sum of moments of component forces. Okay, here there is one more case where of course it is a curved surface, fine, but the water is not inside, water is from outside, the liquid is from outside. Even here also the approach remains the same. So when you look from this end, right, how it looks like width L, here there is L, the height becomes H plus R. Okay, then again usual manner find out Fx Fy, but Fy in this case, see, had it been inside it would have been weight of the liquid, but the same force, the weight of the liquid, whatever you will calculate in this area, will be acting as a buoyant force. You know that whenever the objects are immersed in liquid, there will be a force which will be trying to lift it up, right? That is called as a buoyant force. Now this buoyant force will be acting as vertical force, upward direction. Now how to calculate buoyant force? It will be nothing but weight of the liquid in this particular area. Okay, and then after finding out Fx and Fy, we have to find the resultant and its inclination in an usual manner. R is equal to square root of Fx squared plus Fy squared. The angle theta can be found as tan theta equal to Fy by Fx. Of course, with some numerical value also we'll be trying to see this. Okay, we'll solve one simple problem. Here, a door in a tank is in the form of a quadrant of a cylinder. It is like a quadrant of a cylinder of 1.5 meter radius and 1.8 meter wide. Calculate the resultant force on the door and its location on the gate. Okay, the figure is given here. You can imagine how the gate is. Here there is a gate, there is a tank here. Here the water is standing with a free surface there. Okay, the gate is there. If you want to open the gate, you have to lift it up. Now there is a curved surface here. So water is standing everywhere here. Here there is no water. Now what is the force on this curved surface? That is what is asked. Okay, now as usual, if you look at what we have to do is, if you stand here and then try to see, right, it looks like a rectangle with height as 1.5 meter and the length for which it is there, it is given that it is 1.8 meters. Okay, now I'll try to draw that, complete that sketch here itself. Now I'll try to draw on this side so that it will be easier for you to understand. That is the curved surface. Okay, the length for which it is there, it is 1.8 meters. So this is the curved surface. Now that's how the thing is, right? This quadrant and then quadrant at the end of the gate will be looking like that. So whatever curved surface is there, it will be like this. Okay, but when you stand exactly in front and try to see how it looks like I think I have. Okay, the same is shown over here. It's a curved surface, it's a quadrant of a circle slightly over here, and this length is 1.8 meters. Now when you stand in front and then try to see this face, how it looks like a rectangle with exactly 1.8 meter over here, and this will be a radius of 1.5 meters. Hope you can understand. This is what is the most important part over here. So originally, if you look at that, it is nothing but just a quadrant of a circle, but it is cylindrical quadrant. It is like this. The front view is just a rectangle, and what is the force which will be acting on this rectangle? That will be Fx. So here whatever Fx is shown, which will be acting Fx is the horizontal force on a projected vertical surface. Fy will be the weight of a liquid in this NTSM, whatever is there, that is the area in which whatever weight is there, weight of the liquid is there, that will be coming as Fy. Okay, here I have written in detail Fx, which will be given by gamma AH bar formula wise. Okay, here gamma will be, it is water, because of that it will be 9.81. Area becomes 1.8 by 1.5, that is 2.7 meters square. X bar, position of centroid of this particular rectangle from the free surface. Now from the free surface, of course this depth is already 2 meters, you can just see here 2 meters, and here there is a rectangle, so it will be 1.5 by 2. That's where the centroid of this rectangle lies. So it will be 2 plus half of the height, 1.5 by 2. So that's what it is, 2.75. Now if you work out Fx by the formula gamma AH bar, 9.81 into 2.7 into 2.75, so 72.84 kilonewton would be the horizontal force Fx. Now how about vertical force Fy? Now Fy, which will be acting here, will be weight of the liquid, weight of water in TSMN. Yeah, that is the way how it will be. Now W, the weight how to calculate is gamma of the liquid multiplied by volume in TSMN. Now how do you calculate TSMN volume? It will be total volume of TSMO minus the quadrant of a circle. Okay, volume in TSMN is equal to area TSMN multiplied by 1.8. Obviously area of TSMN multiplied by 1.8 gives you the volume. Now how to calculate area of TSMN? What I have done is, you can just see here 1.5 by 3.5. So this total height is 3.5. 1.5 is the width. So the total area becomes 1.5 minus, into 3.5 minus, I have to subtract this quadrant. So pi r squared by 4. That will be quadrant of a circle. Right? This whole thing multiplied by 1.8 gives you the volume, right? Area of TSMN I have calculated as a rectangle minus quadrant of a circle. This multiplied by 1.8 remains the same. Now 6.27 meter cube would be the volume. So volume of the liquid standing above here, if I try to show you that. Okay. In this particular shape, whatever volume is there, how we have done is, this is 1.8 meters. Now this area is calculated as area of rectangle with 1.5 meter over there as this side, 1.5 meter, height is 2 plus 1.5, 3.5. So that is what is 1.5 into 3.5, this whole area, minus this circle, pi r squared by 4. So that gives you this area, multiplied by 1.8 gives you the volume 6.27 meter cube. Now weight W will be equal to 9.81 multiplied by that 6.27, which will be 61.5. Okay, so that is Fy. Now final step is resultant of Fx and Fy. I think I have done. R equal to square root of Fy squared, 95.33 kilonewton. I think location etc. we'll see it afterwards, but the resultant force is 95.33. How it is worked out? We have worked out Fx. Fx is a horizontal force on projected vertical surface. Fy is the weight of the liquid standing on the curved surface. Resultant of Fx and Fy gives you the force which is acting on curved surface. Okay, here there is one more slightly involved problems. A hemispherical projection of diameter 1.2 meters exists on one side of vertical surface of the tank. If the tank contains water to an elevation of 3 meters above the center of the hemisphere, calculate the horizontal and vertical forces acting on the projection. Hope you can imagine the situation. So there is a vertical surface and then there is a bulging of the shape hemisphere which is projecting out like that. So that is what is shown in exactly front view. So there is a projection. So there is a circle. When you exactly stand in front, it looks like a circle. I think I have shown it here. Actually it is a dome kind of, or it is a hemisphere. You are exactly looking from the front, that's why it looks like that. Otherwise it is a half sphere which is projecting, but when you see it from the side view, it looks like a rectangle. It looks like a perfect circle. Hope you can imagine. Now Fx, they are asking which is the force which will be acting on this surface only. So that's why I have to calculate Fx as the force acting on that area, gamma Ax bar. Okay, gamma Ax bar or gamma Ah bar. Here area is circular area. Obviously this is the area on which the force is being calculated, pi r squared. R is 0.6, so pi into r squared, 0.6 squared, 0.36 into 3.14, it will be 1.131 meter square. H bar, what is H bar? H bar is the centroidal depth from the free surface. So free surface of the water is there, right? Centroid is somewhere there, center of the circle. So how much is this? This is straight away 3 meters. So H bar is 3 meters. Because of that, Fx becomes, if we substitute, gamma A x bar 33.29 kilonewtons. So this is horizontal force which will be acting on the hemisphere over there in this manner. Now what you have to calculate is weight of the liquid which is standing above. I have shown, yeah, that is the figure. You can, hope you can imagine. This is circular body. So liquid above will be cylindrical shape because it is a hemisphere. Above that, if you want to have the volume, obviously it will be cylinder with the same radius, right? Half cylinder. Okay, now weight of the liquid FV2, that is only in the area MQTSM. So that weight will be acting there. Okay. Now, but there is a surface SN on which the liquid force will be acting to lift it up, buoyant force. And how do you calculate the buoyant force which will be acting on the surface SN? It will be nothing but, please concentrate, the force which will be acting on surface SN will be FV1, and that will be equal to weight of the liquid in the area NSTQN. Yeah, that's an important thing. Whatever colored volume is there, that whole weight will be acting in an upward direction on the surface SN as FV1. But what is FV2? FV2 is nothing but only this area, which is SM. SM is a curve, SMQTS. So that will be acting as a vertically downwards. Overall, if you look at FV1 minus FV2, it will be nothing but weight of this hemisphere, right? Weight of hemispherical water in this hemispherical volume will be acting in a upward direction, because FV1 minus FV2, because FV1 is more. So FV1 minus FV2 will be giving you the resultant force Fy, and then afterwards Fx into Fx and Fy resultant has to be found. We'll try to calculate the whole thing in a systematic manner. Okay, FV1 I have calculated. As I have told you, it is nothing but this. So what is it? It is nothing but 0.5 cylinder, that is half of the cylinder. And here if you look at, so this is half of the cylinder, that is SOQT, right? And then this OSN is half of the hemisphere. So 0.5 of hemisphere, that will be giving you the total weight, right? So FE1 will be weight in MSTQ. So that is, yeah, it should have been FV2, it should have been, yeah, weight in MSTQ. Now how do you calculate that? So weight of cylinder minus one more half of the hemisphere, right? So 0.5 of the cylinder that way, and then minus whatever inside this half hemisphere has gone, that has to be subtracted. Okay, now if you do FV1 minus FV2, because FV1 is more minus FV2 vertical forces, so this FV1 is there, minus this, if you do, cylinder cancels off, plus minus of minus plus, so 0.5 becomes 1 hemisphere. So it is a buoyant force on a hemisphere MSN Fy, which will be equal to gamma multiplied by volume of the hemisphere. So volume of the hemisphere is hemisphere 0.5, sphere 4 by 3 pi r cube. Substitute r equal to 0.6, you will be getting Fy as 4.438 kilo. So this is Fy. The resultant will be Fx and Fy. Resultant of Fx and Fy. Okay, thank you. We'll stop here. Put more practice for more number of problems. With this, I think we have finished the forces acting on immersed surface. We have covered a lot of variety. Of course, fewer number of problems I have solved, but you can solve good number of problems. Put a practice every day, good number of problems. Anyway, you are free. And if we can directly contact me on phone, that will be better, so that I can solve your difficulties. Thank you. Take care. Stop.